Hi, I'm Steve Sample with Bama Talk. Don't miss a single episode of Bama Talk Show, available now on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app, and on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.
This is your Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, December the 22nd. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. There's a look at the Skycam from Birmingham as we start the day out on a wet note, and we see a few drops on the lens down there. Not so many drops on the lens down at Demopolis, but certainly a gray morning as we start the day. The rain gradually ending from the northwest. And there's a look at the Storm Prediction Center's storm reports from yesterday and last night. Overnight, we did have a couple of reports of tornadoes in Arkansas. And then we did also see a number of wind reports, including nearly 300 from northeast Texas all the way up to extreme western Pennsylvania. So a very active day, and a lot of that within the moderate risk area that Storm Prediction Center had outlooked. The weather pattern settling down somewhat. Surface map this morning shows kind of a double-barrel cold front moving through the southeastern U.S. We have the front with the rain moving through southeast Alabama, and then we have kind of some colder air coming in across the area just to the west of Memphis. In the upper atmosphere, the trough that was over the southwest U.S. has moved up in and is now approaching Lake Michigan, but the trough itself is hanging back, so while we will see a bit of a transition today, we won't be seeing that really cold air arrive until tomorrow, and tomorrow could be a bit of a blustery day with a good northwesterly wind and temperatures not climbing much. This morning, temperatures generally in the 50s, and that's after a record-breaking day. Anniston, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and Montgomery all set record high temperatures yesterday, so a very, very warm day. But again, temperatures have fallen back nearly 20 degrees since those temperatures yesterday. The rain is moving on out, but we still will be seeing some showers across the southeastern U.S. Behind the main weather-making front. And until that drier air over Arkansas gets here, we'll have the possibility of showers. Fortunately, the number of winter weather advisories across the Great Lakes has diminished somewhat across the Great Lakes and up into New England, but we still see a number of flash flood watches and warnings that are in effect from the Ohio River Valley up into northern New York. So it looks like travel should be getting back to something close to normal over the next several days. And on the QPF, the rain is diminishing, although it looks like pretty widespread 2-inch amounts across much of Alabama, and we're not going to see much additional rain. Severe weather is likely to be fairly limited as the system is winding down. So you see the areas marked as C-text. There's still some potential for some isolated storms. All right, the 06 GFS model run. And there goes the main weather maker as the rain should be ending from the northwest by early this afternoon. In the upper atmosphere, the trough, the big trough itself, is hanging back just to the west of the Mississippi River. So that means the cold air won't really be getting in here until Monday. And then you can see the thicknesses. You can see the 540 line dipping all the way down to Dallas-Fort Worth and down in the vicinity of Tupelo. So the cold air coming in on Monday. The main trough moves by, so that gets it by finally on Tuesday, but that's going to be a rather chilly day with temperatures dipping back into the 20s for morning lows and highs only in the 40s. As you can see, the cold air moving off to the east. We come under a bit of a flattening of the weather pattern as the main trough moves out into the Atlantic, but we see another trough that's digging into the central part of the country, but not having quite as high an amplitude, and that one shunts off. Yesterday, the GFS was suggesting a little more amplitude to it, but still a little bit of amplitude, so kind of a reinforcing shot, you might say, on the day after Christmas. And so we still see the cold air down into the Ohio River Valley and kind of the northern Tennessee River Valley. But it does look like the air mass will be dry, so while we might see some clouds with the passing disturbances, we're not going to see much in the way of any precipitation. We do see a nice short wave moving through the flow on Friday, the 27th, coming out of extreme eastern Kansas. and that one moves by moves through fairly quickly and settles in over the southeastern U.S. So, but once again, the atmosphere being dry, as it moves by, we're likely to only see some clouds with that as it moves by. So not much in the way of precipitation expected for that system, although it will produce something out over the southwestern Atlantic. And looking out into voodoo country, we've seen the system sort of flip from yesterday. This is the 1st of January, 2014, and GFS suggesting a fairly sizable trough over the central part of the country, over the Mississippi River Valley, and that trough keeping things somewhat coolish. And then when we get out to the 6th of January, it looks like the cool pattern more or less stays with us, whereas yesterday we were showing a much warmer pattern with a fairly deep trough over the southwestern United States. But wait for tomorrow. Maybe it'll flip again. Well, that'll do it for the Weather Extreme video for this Sunday. I expect to have the next one posted tomorrow morning by 8 a.m. or so. We're on a one-a-day schedule for the Christmas week. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.